What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here, bringing you a war recap video. Random matchup, middle of the week rather, sorry. Random matchup, War and Glory, 80 to 83. The breakdowns for this was equal, each side had 4 Town Hall 11s. War and Glory had 2 additional 10.5s with mature, semi-mature wardens like in the teens. OneHive had an extra 9.5, and it was a tough. They added 2 Town Hall 11 offensive advantage, but actually it'd be 4 attacks because they're 2 bases. But it wasn't something that I thought was not able to be overcome. I still thought we could, it was doable, right? Speaking as someone that's not 11 in the clan, kind of funny. But what I'm getting at is it wasn't like an insurmountable feat to do. Each side failed. 90 was the total possible out of this. So each side had some dip fails. Also, Town Hall 10s going up to get Town Hall 11s. Also, had both sides had some opportunities there. So with that said, let's just get down to the recap. Top 4, they doubled the top 4 11s. They cleared all the 10s except 3 of them. And then for OneHive, doubled the top 4s. Cleared both 10.5s and then left 6 10s on the board. It is what it is. Here is the stats here: 20 to 23 3 stars. That was the difference maker. We actually did have an opportunity to win the war. We had about 8 attacks left. I'll just leave it at that. We had an opportunity to win the war, and the attacks didn't go the way as planned, and War and Glory came out with the win. So respect to them. Great war, guys. Great job. Let's get down to the replays. For first, we have number 5, Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10.5, which is important to note because there are extra defenses. As you can see, there's 4 expos here. But there's no eagle, which is really important. However, it wasn't a nice attack. If you look at this base and cut it into 4 quarters, it's really excellent how he did this. So he zap quakes 2 of the 4 air defenses, walks the 3rd one, so he's left with just 1 down here. And he's going to send his dragons from that area. And seeing how, aside from this Infernal Tower, there's nothing left but basically half the base across this line, was really the smart move to use dragons in this aspect, which is going to be an underlining theme for the recap because I have 2 other dragon attacks from Town Hall 9 to show you, and it piggybacks off of videos that I've made, attack strategies, and then things I say on recaps that I've witnessed and just opinions that I see about the game. And somebody even had asked in the comment section of another video, like, when do you know when to use dragons versus baby dragons? So I hope to provide additional insight and comments about that, about what you look for and why baby dragons are better than dragons in some aspects versus the other. As his queen beats through the top up here, she'll get through and get that last Infernal Tower. But he keeps his wad of dragons here clumped together. After they take care of the Town Hall, they're going to get sucked downward. I really liked how he used the loons here to the baby dragon to tank for his loons as they pass by, but at that point the loons already made it to the point defense. It was really nice. I really thought that was clever, as he has most of his dragons up and working as a wave. So we can go ahead and start here. It was really a nice fresh hit, by the way. This was fresh. Really nice attack, really clever at putting out an execution, as he does leave some huts down here at the bottom, but he's got a baby drag for cleanup. I think he'll use that on the top left for this point defense. He's got 3 point defense left and a wad of dragons. Nope, 1 dragon peeled off here and went to the bottom. All right, so both are great, but there are some pros and cons to each one, baby dragon versus dragon. And it will segue into the next video where I'll show a baby dragon and then a mature dragon, Town Hall 9, both back-to-back attacks. You look for the same things. You want to account for air defenses. The same way that before baby dragons existed, the way that you respected and accounted for air targeting defenses, but specifically air defenses, can take down a dragon wicked fast. You also look at bows set to multi or both to ground. So all that hasn't changed. Nice job, Chris. As we go down to segue into number 24, fresh hit, Hotard. I love saying his name. He's going to use baby dragons here. He's going to do a double jump. Rage also had a beer run this war and did an EQ, similar to EQ stone baby dragon attack. This one's a double jump, and it is a fresh hit. So what the difference is that, so troop space, because you guys, the replay speaks for itself. 2 baby dragons have more, Town Hall 9, have more hit points than a mature baby dragon. If you combine the baby dragons together, that equates to 20 troop space. They equate to, level 2, mind you, 100 more HPS combined than a mature dragon. Where you lose where the difference is that the mature dragon is basically used as a tank to bully your way down, bowling ball down your way, to shoot through everything. You almost want to bum rush whatever defenses are there for you. Where baby dragons add a little bit more finesse. So on this one, I want you to imagine the deployment that he would have done with mature dragons here. So the value where mature dragons come from is when you want to keep your group together. The real force that they bring is the combined DPS and combined hit points in the air. You'll get one weakened, but the rest of them will just bully their way through. As we see, just 3 of his 7 baby dragons here. On the top, you see how on the top left how they group together by 4 tiles. They lose their enraged, but once one goes down, the other one gets enraged again. Ideally, you want to deploy them in a way that they're at least 4 tiles apart. You want to try to keep them enraged as much as possible, and they just eat through high hit points. So with mature dragons, you can't do that. You usually keep them grouped together. So you have a shorter circumference or radius in which that you want to deploy your dragons. Like in the other replay we saw, there was about a 8 to 10 tile radius that he kept all of his dragons together with. In this one, with baby dragons, he's got them relatively spread out. They almost act complementary as opposed to, I'm going to bum rush this base. The other thing is, they may start spread out to get specific key portions of the base, but towards the end, they'll group up, as you see down here, and he gets the last portion of this. Was really a nice attack. They group up, and then they're at risk to be picked off towards the middle. So basically, in the takeaway from that, as we segue out of an awesome, fresh, stoned a double jump baby dragon attack by Hotard here, we're going to go into Rage's fresh attack, one of his 2 beer runs on number 26. And he's going to use a mature dragon. Look at this slight difference of how he deploys his dragons. So the other part is the flexibility and customization. You have 6 troops. If you have 120 troop space, in this example, we have 6 mature dragons. There's only 6 spots on a map that I can place them down, and usually I'm going to keep them around each other. But with baby dragons, the equivalent of 6 mature dragons, I get 12. I have a much wider array that I can deploy them that will accomplish much more combined DPS, because when a baby dragon is enraged, it actually does more damage, not per second. Yeah, damage per second than a mature dragon. See, a damage per attack and damage per second are 2 very different things. That, like, Peck is a good example, where his hammer basically, or her, swings downward. And see how he keeps his dragons. This one's going to funnel in, and they're going to group in together here. And he has that hound. But you see how they're not, like, widely spread out. But go back to damage per second versus damage per attack. The damage per attack is really, really powerful, right? Like a P.E.K.K.A swing. But the damage per second gets shaved off the damage per attack, because if it takes 1.5 to 2 full seconds for the attack to happen, over time, the damage per second is shorter. So a way to look at that, if I remember this correctly, a level 4 dragon has 300 damage per attack. But it over time will give you 200 damage per second. I did a video on this where I and there's others out there on other channels which are very useful, where they combine, they compare this factor together, where baby dragons basically can, if not are better than mature dragons in most circumstances because of this, because their damage per second, their rate of attack gets increased, as well as their attack their DPS gets increased, but because they can attack faster, their damage per second outweighs a mature dragon. The other part is Sams, Black Sams. If you have a mature dragon that has so let's pretend the number's 3,000. I know that's not a real number. A nice job, Rage. Really like this. As we back out of here and go into, let's go into some witches attack. We're going to go into, oh no, I'm sorry. Let's just go to a hobo. This is a cleanup here. Really nice attack by Asterix. Oh, wait, Asterix. Yep, Asterix is a clean. So, if you have a Black Sam, he's going to do an AQ walk hobo attack. If you look at a Sam that does let's pretend it's 2,500, just numbers, 2,500 DPS, and it hits a target that has a total of 3,000 hit points, you're going to get the full value of the 2,500 DPS into that unit, whatever it is. In this case, it's a mature dragon. But with a baby dragon, you got 1,300 hit points. So if it takes a Black Sam, I only get 1,300 hit points removed. Now, thinking back to Troop Space, that's where you save some HPS in the air. Rather than getting a full 2,500 out of a main dragon, you only get 13 out of a possible 2,500 from a Sam on a baby dragon. So over time, there's additional added benefits of basically you have more HPS in the grand scheme of things of your army sweeping across the base. So I hope that helped a little bit. In most cases, what I see and what most people tend to lean towards is that I've never really seen someone, not saying it's not possible, but usually in attack strategies that involve a dragon, it's common that you see them bum rush the queen if she's not covered by an air defense, or you can zap quick it out, or the sweeper's odd. But basically you can use them to bully or bum rush the queen, because she'll do at level 30 queen will do 300, 325 DPS. A couple of shots there with some added DPS, maybe a Black Sam in there as well. She'll take out some dragons. But eventually they have enough combined HPS to overwhelm her and take her over and take her down. You throw baby dragons into that mix. Not only will they do some attacks on her, she'll take out one or two of them, individual baby dragons. But then the other part is they'll converge. They may start out spread out, but then they'll converge upon each other to aggro onto the queen here as Asterix swags or bags a heal here. But they'll lose their enrage ability when they converge to get to the queen, which is why I personally have not seen it happen. I'm not saying it's not possible, but usually attackers shy away from using baby dragons to take care of the queen. The only thing I could think of is if it's a very poorly placed offset queen, because I've personally done this, where you drop a poison on her, similar to how you take care of her with the queen walk, where you drop a poison on her and you can take her down. It slows her attack rate. I've seen one baby dragon take her on, mano-y-mano with one poison on her and win that battle, but this is when there's nothing else in the equation. So they're useful. Both troops are very, very useful depending on what your attack strategy is. We saw a few examples here that use baby dragons versus mature dragons, illustrating some of the points that we're talking through. We did an Asterix Queen Walk Hobo, which was a cleanup. Rage's Dragloon, which was a fresh hit. Really nice. And so to clean this up, I got some witches to show. On number 17, I really enjoyed this. I almost thought about doing a queen bitch on this on this base, but it was called by D-Cell before I could leave and go to work, so I had to pick a different base. But I'm actually glad I didn't, because there's a Tesla farm over here on the left that you're going to see. He's going to do a true blue Hogo Wee Wee. That's right, Hogo Wee Wee. Oh, shit. Really like this. Witches are fun again, man. I'm really, I wish they would trip over bombs. Again, I'm not sure if that's the answer. Maybe I'm just adjusting to the change, but I'm really happy to see. I am starting to see more and more witches become viable again in different aspects of the game. I've seen them in CCs, be a factor because of that added hit points that they have. They can kind of walk through a poison, depending if it's not dead on placement. But a Tesla farm to start here on the left. He's still got a whole bunch of witches. Jump down here, which will get access to that queen. They will aggro onto her once they jump over there, assuming the Larrys don't go right towards the core and the bow first. But nice little funnel going down on the left side, which is going to account for half the base, the CC, and the queen. And then he's going to send his hogs on the right side. So it's like, two-phased attack. Half the base, half the army does half the base, and then the second half that he sends in here, complementing the first, basically segueing, if you will, completing the official attack, as he has some witches in the core here with some Larry makers, which is really going to be helping him out, not only for cleanup, I remember that's what I really like them for, but just distractions overall, which help his hoggies over time. Larry's come up to pet the petting zoo. You got a poison for them. Heal goes down. Go-Ho and Hogo-Weeby, man. If you love those strategies from back in the day, dust off your skills on them, man, because they're back in a big way. I thought he could have used the heal here. This is not a fresh hit. This is a clean hit. I'm sorry, clean. This is a cleanup. I thought he could have used the heal at the top. In my, he was saving at the end because it is a cleanup. He knew there wasn't any bombs or any threats to his hogs there, so he bags it. I thought was really nice. Really nice to see these Hogo-Weebies. Nice to see the hog swarms come out. It's kind of crazy to see that at Town Hall 9. This weekend we have round 2 of the CWL Clan Warg League. And my apologies, I couldn't cover the Grand Witch Auto one because the replays are wiped within 24 hours. So I didn't know that, and you have my commitment to make sure I get this weekend's, because it's going to be a special one, Clan War League round 2 recapped properly. So hopefully you enjoyed the war recap. Props out to War and Glory. Hopefully we can meet each other again in the future. Once again, it's Brutus reminding you got to be better than a double, and I'll check you next time.